It is time to connect to Congress, a segment where we talk directly with Washington lawmakers who represent us here in the San Joaquin Valley. A little earlier this hour, we talked with Republican Representative McClintock, and now we are talking with Democratic Representative of California's 21st Congressional District, Jim Costa, live from his office in Washington, D.C. Congressman Costa, thanks for joining us today.
Good morning, Kim. It's always great, as I say, to be on great day. Thank you.
Thank you. Yesterday marked the first 100 days of the Trump presidency. It's been a busy one. This is the exact same question I asked Congressman McClintock. We've had in the first 100 days a lot going on: tariffs, trade wars, illegal immigration, Elon Musk and Doge, Gulf of America. What stands out most to you?
Well, I think majority of Americans supported this new administration with the idea that the issues at the kitchen table would be focused on reducing inflation, the cost of food, housing, automobiles, and what's happened in the last 100 days is chaos that has resulted in the stock market prices plunging, people's 401k investments, the tariff war creating anxiety in terms of our ability to maintain our economy that majority of economists were saying was on track for a soft landing. Job growth had continued to be a factor over the last 2 years, and inflation was coming down and the stock market was soaring. But that's all dramatically changed in the last 100 days. And so the uncertainty, and then with mass deportations, the fear in our valley, with so much of our agricultural workforce at risk, I think that it's been a great period of uncertainty and concern that this economy is going off the road.
Yeah, this morning there was a report, a GDP report showing the U.S. economy shrinking for this first quarter. And as you brought up the stock market, at least when it comes to the Dow Jones, it is down 616 points below 39,000. S&P 500 also down. So, yeah, speaking to the uncertainty, absolutely. Yeah. Let's talk about the letter that you wrote to the USDA opposing these mass layoffs of its workforce. What did you say?
Well, Secretary Brooke Rollins, I met briefly in her swearing in, and I encouraged her to come out to California, the number one agricultural state in the nation, and to really get a sense of how American farmers and ranchers, but California farmers and ranchers and dairymen every day work so hard with farm workers to put food on America's dinner table. Mm-hmm. And the cuts that are being proposed with the United States Department of Agriculture, shrinking not only the workforce here in Washington, but trying to create 3 regional hubs, laying off what's estimated to be thousands of people who have a great deal of experiences. So they're talking about potentially 280,000 people that work out, many of these who worked for the Department of Agriculture for 10, 15, 20 years, experience and research and animal husbandry. And we just started dealing with a high-path avian flu in California, mm-hmm. and dairy and poultry. And you know, in our Farm Service Administration offices are a critical link for our local farmers every day to access efforts with the United States Department of Agriculture. So that letter indicated to the Secretary that we'd like to know what the plan is with these cuts, what are the goals, and how are we going to continue to make the United States Department of Agriculture user-friendly, mm-hmm. to the people who use the services the most, our agriculture community.
Along with the ag community comes with my question of the Water Infrastructure Finance and Innovation Act. What's going on with that?
Well, this is legislation that I've introduced that builds upon a body of work to create greater water reliability for the people of our valley and people in California. We've already done a number of investments to restore the capacity of the Frank Kern Canal. We're not only restoring the integrity of the San Luis Reservoir for seismic safety purposes, but raising that dam that will allow it to provide another 130,000 acre-feet of water. This legislation will provide additional money for aging water infrastructure like that. In addition, it will provide support for groundwater recharge for our local water districts and individual farmers. You know, our groundwater is critical. We're overdrafting it, and we're attempting to restore the level of our groundwater. And so this is very important, along with water storage.
So what is the future for this and the road to making this happen with this act?
Well, we hope that we're going to be able to have bipartisan support. It should have bipartisan support, certainly among my colleagues here in the Valley. They know the importance of water. Where water flows, food grows, as we like to say. This is a national security issue, and this will allow us to help comply with the SGMA law that we're using to try to restore our groundwater. So it will have significant economic impacts to invest and reinvest in our water supply and reliability.
Okay. There was a group that you met yesterday, Central Valley Honor Flight. They're returning home to Fresno tonight, but you got to meet with them at the Capitol. Tell me about that experience, because you've done this quite a few times.
It was the 31st annual Honor Flight visit from men and women who've served our country from the San Joaquin Valley. And I've been fortunate to be able to meet with all 31 honor flights over the years, either in the airport in Fresno when they've departed or when they returned, or here in Washington, and with my colleagues to greet them yesterday morning in the floor of the House of Representatives, to see them sit there who participated from the Korean War to Vietnam through the Gulf Wars, and to thank them. Thank them and their families for the service that they've given. I said, as I always tell them, that a grateful nation can never ever say thank you enough. And the joy and the satisfaction to be in our nation's capital, to be sitting in the House chamber, and to take this class photo that we've taken in recent years in the rotunda, put a smile on their face with a lot of pride, and I was just grateful to be a part of it.
Yeah, it is glorious to be there in the rotunda, as we're showing the picture there. When I was on the honor flight reporting, it was many years ago, and we were at the World War II Museum and took our picture there, which was also glorious because it was a beautiful day, but it is always such a special trip. So thank you for meeting them, and thank you for your time this morning. We appreciate it, Congressman Costa.
Kim, thank you.
Thank you. Great day. We'll be right back.